Hey, we're live. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the shop. With the MR6, and we have good news. New ball joints came in, and they look to be correct. I'm obviously going to triple check them on this side before we do both sides. Apologize for the lateness. I ordered, you'll love this. I ordered rivets for the rear windows. You can see the blue tape back there. They're going to get riveted in. So I ordered a set of regular aluminum rivets because I'm almost out of those. And I ordered a set of really cool black face aluminum rivets, which is going to look great with this, the white and black theme on the car. And this box showed up, and the whole top row, the dividers had all come out. So all of these rivets, let's see, 400 pieces of rivets were just mixed together. So I had to divide and conquer and put those back together. It took me about 20 minutes. So I'll show you the rivets that I got for the back windows. That's a small one. Hang on. I'll do a nice size one so you guys can see it. These are the rivets we're going to use. They'll look really cool back here, holding the window in place. We've been using kind of urethane, kind of tape to keep them in place, and that doesn't work. It doesn't work as well as I'd hoped. The urethane gets hard, and when you go hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, it doesn't really stay really well. And the surface area isn't really conducive to it. The Lexan, it's actually polycarbonate. The polycarbonate doesn't really hold the urethane all that well. We had the same problem when we had the polycarbonate windshield. So we're going to rivet them in place, call it good. They're easy to drill out if for some reason we need to replace it, and then we'll have a template. Just cut new poly and put it in place. The other thing I got to do, I got to move a couple of things in the shop, and I got to move the car because it's been in neutral, and doing all the other stuff, all the computer stuff that I've been doing the last few days in the car has shifted it, and I want to make sure it's still on the pads. So give me a minute to do that, and we'll get the car raised up, and we'll start doing some ball joints. Sound good? Yes, it's cold here. It is so cold that my outside temperature gauge is not reading, but I think it's 34 degrees outside. Don't go outside. Plus, there's like a 10-mile-an-hour wind. It's not, don't go outside. Stay inside. Let me get some of this stuff moved. And I'm going to grab my headlamp that's right here. And roll the car just a little bit. It's funny with the coilovers on here. The pads barely fit now. I mean, that's kind of a good thing. We're a lot lower in the back than we were. Make sure this guy is still in line. God, there's another chunk of gravel. A couple of chunks of gravel popping out. Okay, that'll do right there. That's just a leaf. It doesn't count as gravel. There's some grass here, and that also doesn't count as gravel. Okay, let's get this car lifted up. And I'm going to adjust the view for you guys in a second here. Let me get this, this. This. So give me a second. Let me adjust this view for you guys so you can kind of see the entire car, because I know it's not fun. Sorry. Whoops. I'll make this as quick as possible and painless as possible. Come here. Get the other side off. Haven't really had a chance to drive this yet because we haven't had the ball joints and haven't had the weather either. It's been really cold and really gross here. That should do. So let me turn this so you guys can kind of see what we're working with. Let me raise this up a little. There we go. That's a little better. Here's our brake caliper. Our lower ball joint is right here. There's 2 bolts that hold that in. And we have our castle nut down here and our temporary cotter pin. Same thing on both sides. So I'm going to have to build this ball joint. These are nothing special. They're import direct. It's pretty much the same factory that builds all these ball joints. They just come in a different box. So and hopefully these guys come with all the hardware. We have a castle nut and a ball joint. And this is what the ball joint looks like. And you can see the castle nut on the end there. And this is our hardware. Now, our hardware should have 2 bolts, 2 lock washers, and a cotter pin. 2 bolts, 2 nuts. That's interesting. I guess maybe on some cars, the bolts go all the way through. That's odd. So we have 2 bolts, 2 nuts, lock washers, and we have our Zerk fitting. So we're going to put our Zerk fitting in with, I believe it's an 8mm wrench. I do like these new bolts. Just not sure. Yeah, they're going to come right to the top there. Okay, that works for me. And they're nice, very nice zinc plated bolts. Not zinc plated, black oxide plated. So let's go get our wrench to put these guys in. I don't know if you guys remembered watching the last time I got ball joints that were the wrong ones. I put the Zerk fittings in. So we'll do the same thing on these guys. So in the top of your ball joint, let me turn this off. Top of your ball joint, or bottom, depending on how it's mounted. This is open right here, and this is where grease goes in. There's a little bit of grease in there. It's pre-lubed. And this is your Zerk fitting. And what that is there's a little ball in the top there. I don't know if you can see that little tiny ball, but that's where you add a grease gun, and you can lubricate this with putting heavy duty wheel bearing grease in there. So these guys, you just tighten on. You can feel it reach the bottom. You'll feel it stop. When it stops, that's it. That's as far as you need to go. So then you have grease gun, and this fitting pushes onto that. When he pushes on, see, I have to do this off the car. I can't do it on the car. He's now filling that ball joint with lube. I think, unless it's all coming out on my sweatshirt, which, by the way, this has become the kind of unofficial sweatshirt of the shop. Good thing I have abs, right? Damn. Well, all right, it's going to make a mess. Hang on. Come on. Come off of there. He loaded up a bunch. Whoa. Is he coming out the back now? No. Oh. Okay. Yep. He's full. All right. So you can tell he's full. The lube started to come out of the bottom of the seal there. And that's fine. We'll clean him up. That means he has lube. Yay. So just set him on our plastic bag there and set our grease gun down. God, I don't know why I took my gloves off. What did I do with the paper towels? I swear I had paper towels here. All right. That's what shop rags are for, right? All right, so let's do the same thing with our other ball joint. Recycle these boxes. We're actually going to save this one because we're going to have a spare front ball joint. So I'm going to save the big bag. Open up our hardware. So these ball joints work on a bunch of different cars. So that's why they come with nuts. Some cars have a different control arm, and you'll need to put the nut on the opposite side. So again, oh, sorry, it's not an 8 mil, it's a 7 mil. Just until he stops. That's all it takes. We're done with the 7 mil. We can put it away. And let's load them up with some grease. Let's put our gloves on this time. God, so good at making a mess, right? So again, this guy goes in. He opens up the Zerk fitting. He like latches on. It's got like a spring load on him. And then you just start pumping. Ah, there he goes. Oh, he's getting there. Whoa, just popped off. That's the other problem. Usually this is mounted on something, and this thing is on a teeter, so all it does is want to wobble. So, and the grease gun is not light. I'm watching for it to come out the seal edge. Oh yeah, it's close. Thought there was a lot more lube in these when you first got them. Oh, is it coming out now? You also have to push out a lot of air. Yep. So just had grease start to show on the edge there. So we're all done greasing these guys up too. And this thing really sticks on here, man. There we go. So that's it. And then you just wipe off the Zerk fitting and you have a couple of loaded ball joints. Put the grease gun away. We're done with that. I also loaded it up with different grease than what was in there. What was in there was not for wheel bearings. It was a lighter duty grease. So there you can see it sort of coming out of the top edge there. We'll wipe it down here in a minute. Yeah, it started spooging out on this side. That's also why you have a castle nut and a lock pin here, because that grease will slowly work its way down. And since this is a vertical setup, it'll just make that nut loose. Nobody wants that. So you have a castle nut with a cotter pin in there. And that should work. So this guy is the same. So you can see that lube kind of oozing out. He'll eventually ooze down onto the threads. We don't really want that. So we'll clean up what we can right now. And let's get this other ball joint off. I'm going to turn this back straight. Whoa. So you guys can see it. These two bolts right here with the lock washers. I'm going to take this cotter pin out and I'm going to take this castle nut off. And we are 14 and 14, and that is a 17. And I'm going to check the size on this. With my luck, this is some bizarro size. Yeah, not a 14. He is a 16. So weird. Okay. I don't know why they do that, but all right. Oh, and I need my pliers. Yeah, these guys should work. Okay. So put this bolt over here. All right. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't do music for you guys. I can get some synth wave going if you really want. There's one cotter pin out. And if you can, do not reuse cotter pins. Please, if I ask nice. They're very cheap, usually very easy to find. The problem is they're just kind of one and done. You can reuse them like an emergency, but I highly do not recommend it. All right, let's go into our magic socket pocket and take the 17 off. Of course, he's stuck in there now. Well, that guy isn't. We salvaged these castle nuts, so I'll see which one's the better of the two, and we'll use that. They got pretty jankered up. Whoa. With taking them on and off so much. So which one looks less disastrous? I don't know. I'll test fit them. We will test fit those. Or test thread. I guess test thread is the best way to put it. Whoa, who's here? What do we got? Midnight Neon YouTube. Hey, Darren. Synthwave for the win. Okay. Midnight Neon YouTube. Do I know who you are? We can definitely add some tunes. Hang on a sec here. Let's go to the tube of Eunice and see if we can get something good here. An offer to watch football. No thanks. NCS. Is that working for you guys? I don't know how well that's going to go. Let's see. Okay. Oh, hey, Peter. Sorry, I didn't know your YouTube name. Let's double check that those castle nuts are 17s for these guys. I don't think they are. Negative. They are a 19. Yeah, because 3/4 too big. Yep. So they are a 19. These are a little heavier duty. Duty. Okay. So let's take our 14. And I'm going to straighten the wheel back out. Just so that the ball joint goes back in straight-ish. A little bit easier that way. Whoa. Okay, so all this hardware we're going to save with our ball joint. That will be all part of our little spares package. So I only need 2 of those. Don't need those 2. Okay, we're done with the 14. So we have a 16 and an 18 now. Great. Very unstandard sizes for Toyota stuff. By the way, this video is brought to you by Rockstar. You guys know by now. It's what keeps me going. Okay. Fun part. Where the hell did my gloves go? I spend more time looking for tools than actually using them. All right. So here comes the fun part. This has to come down, and this has to lift out. Now, normally, this has a ton of pressure on there, and he's locked into this lower control arm. And let's see, this guy's still pretty good. See, these guys do not have Zerk fittings. There's no way to reload grease in here. It's a one and done sort of thing. So we're going to find whichever one is tighter is the one we're keeping. Now, it's a good idea to put a little bit of anti-seize in this pocket or on the stub, this section, not the threads, obviously, this section of the ball joint. That'll make it a lot easier to replace it because these guys get jammed in there and then you're hammering on this, trying to get it out, you jack up these threads. If you have an anti-seize on there, usually you can tap this with a hammer or tap the control arm with a hammer and it'll pop right out. So I did anti-seize on this one before, and I think I did it on this one before. Nope. See how hard that thing is to get out of there? So, yeah. We're going to have to give him a little help to get out of there, which means I need, going to have to hammer. So in order to save the threads, I'll show you on this one. By the way, go to Harbor Freight and get one of these little mini hammers. I use them all the time, man. They're like $4. They're awesome. So in order to save the threads, we'll put this guy back on. The castle nut, we'll put them on backwards. Run them down about that far. And that helps protect the threads when you're tapping this guy out. if I can thread this back on. It's kind of conical shaped, so it only has to move a little tiny bit. It doesn't have to move a lot. So there he goes. Now we didn't have that torqued down, and we only had the car resting on it. Cool. So let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, well. This one feels like metal on metal. Yeah, this one is like grinding. This guy's looser, but he has more lube in him. So we're going to save him. This will be our spare. I don't think that nut's going to work. So we'll try the other nut. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's our spare. Ball joint castle nut, set of bolts. I'm going to put a new cotter pin in there because I have tons of spare cotter pins here. And then we will be covered if we need a new ball joint. Cotter pin assortment from Harbor Freight. And just need the medium guy. Yep. Okay. At least I think. The medium guy fits through there. Yeah. Okay. So ball joint, castle nut, new cotter pin, and 2 mounting nuts in the box. That's our spares. That'll go with us to the track. So now let's test fit our other guys. I want to see, yeah, there's still anti-seize up there. I'm going to grab the brush and load up the other side. I think I have. Yeah, that works. Don't need a ton of it. Just enough. And you can also test fit the ball joint, wipe it off, and then redo it. So, yeah. Then I got a bunch of garbage here. So I'm going to wipe that off. We should be pretty good. All right, and there's no front and back on these. They're ambidextrous. So it doesn't really matter which way They go in. 2, 3, and 4. So you need a bolt and a lock washer on each of those, and he'll go get mounted straight up in there. I'll get that bolt in a minute. Gravity always works. Hang on a second, I want to look at this ball joint. I'm going to put the numbers to the inside. Just so I do it the same on both. Uh-oh. Here's where it gets funky with Toyota stuff. They say everything fits. And then you go to try it, and it doesn't. So let's just double check these mounting bolts. Okay, they're just really tight in there. They're longer than the originals, so they're going to clean out a bunch of the garbage in the threads as they go up. So, okay, just making sure. Rather do that than strip something out and have to replace it or drill it, tap it, helicoil it, and do it all over again. So that's why I'm doing these by hand. Oh yeah, look at those. Fit right in there. Gotta like that. Okay. Whoa, come back here. Now the fun part is aiming this control arm. Because that new ball joint's really stiff. Oops. Okay. Which way does it need to go? Okay. Maybe. I need a tappy tap. He's going to go. He's so close. Hang on. Where does he have to go? Something like that. There he goes. All right. That's a hard one. There he is. Okay. So now we get the nut on there. Those the new ball joints are really stiff. So lining it up, not easy. And with these guys, you really want to use an impact because otherwise it's just going to spin around in there. So the hard part is getting it torqued and then lining up a big enough notch for your cotter pin to go through. Where's our new cotter pin? Right here. No. Cotter pins just get folded. They go through and then they get folded back the opposite direction. Makes it very difficult for them to come out. And if you want to, you can tappy tap them in. Give you a little extra. Should look kind of like a boat anchor when you're all done. Ow. Oh, that got my nail too. Okay. That guy is in there. We're done here. We just have to torque these two guys and we'll torque everything all at once. So hopefully you guys can see some of this. Let me grab a light to do this side. Is that helping light up kind of the area we're working here? Okay. Yeah, I think we've got pretty good anti-seize there. Whew. All right, next ball joint. And again, I'm just going to put the numbers to the inside. We have all new bushings on this car. Hopefully you guys watch that. So we have all new polyurethane bushings. This thing will be way stiffer and handle way better than the 35-year-old rubber that was in here before. So again, I'm going to do these guys by hand. Whoops, we got grease coming out. This is heavy duty Molly wheel bearing grease. It's the good stuff. Where did my wrenching stuff go? It's over here with the hammer now. Again, I lost my tools. Really? I didn't go that far. Okay. Hand tight. These things fit in the spindle nice and tight. I'm pretty content with those. Another great tool to have at the shop. We call this the Jeff wrench. This is a Harbor Freight special. It has a 3/8 drive here, quarter drive here. It's reversible, but it also has a whole bunch of different length settings, so you can get some really good torque on stuff. This thing's great. We call it the Jeff wrench. I got a couple of those. All right, let's get this thing lined up here. Oh, so you have to move the whole spindle assembly. He's in there. There we go. It's enough to get threads on. I really do have to go get the paper towels. We'll get our castle nut on there. Zoom them on. And right there. Here we go. Another match. I think that's dead on. I'm going to borrow this light for a second. Yep. Let me see that. No. It's right there. So yeah, lining up where the cotter pin goes through there is really, really important. So we're done with impact tools. We're done with the 19. What a weirdo size. And we still have the 16. And I don't need the 14. That extension. So, cotter pin. Where's our new one? right here. There we go. I have to torque this. I have to look up the torque spec on it. Let's see. What are you guys saying in here? Hey, Diane. Oh, are you still there? No more music? I'll turn it up a little bit. Maybe? Oh, I knew I forgot to do something. We're going to use the zoomer again, but just one at a time. Why is that in there? Okay. I got to go get paper towels, and I got to wash my hands, and I got to look up the torque spec on those. So give me a second here. Those are all the basics. You know, it's really funny is I'm staring right at the blue Loctite, but I didn't put it on those bolts. But the good thing is we haven't torqued the bolts down yet, so I'm just doing one at a time. I got to go get paper towels and get the torque specs. Then we can finish this off, and this car runs and drives. This car will be actually really awesome. This car will be a serious track weapon. So yeah, brand new tube of blue Loctite right here, staring right at it. So let me grab the paper towels and the torque specs, and I will be right back. We'll torque those guys. We'll Loctite them and torque them as soon as I get back. Hang on, I am coming right back. Okay. Sorry, it took me forever to find these. I didn't know where they were stashed in the house. Looking at, whoops, where's my mic? Hang on. Okay, I'm back here. Front ball joint to steering knuckle, 59 foot-pounds. And 58 foot-pounds for the castle nut. So we're good on that. $58, right? Let's get it done. I have a bunch of different torque wrenches in the shop. Oh yeah, we got to zoom these out quick. So let me do some Loctite on these. And then once we do the Loctite, we'll torque them up, and then we're done. So good. What is it about thread locker that smells so damn good? I don't know what that is. And again, you don't need a ton of this stuff. Just a little band. We also have a lock washer on here, which is also helping it. This is just security for hammering around at the track. Now, another good thing to do, and we're not doing it, and I don't know why, but my buddy Chris does this, and I watched him on his BMW build. When he torques a bolt, he will put a little paint mark on the bolt. And that tells him not only did he do it, because it's a very specific paint color, but it tells him that he actually did torque it to spec. And that's a good idea, especially if you have other people working on your stuff. I'm not doing that here because, number one, I know I'm the guy working on it. And number two, there's a nice record of it here on YouTube. So if anyone is wondering, they can just rewind YouTube and take a look. Damn, that lock washer cut in a little bit. So kind of works either way. Also, if you have a lot of time between working on vehicles, you might forget if you torque something or not. And so that paint marker is a good idea. Like, oh yeah, I did torque down those head bolts. Yeah, okay. Or yeah, engine mounts. Yep, torque those. That was like 3 weeks ago. You know, it's one of those things. Okay. Yeah, these guys are nice and full of grease. Okay. We put our blue Loctite away and our gun away. Zoomer, I call them. And got our digital torque wrench, which will power up. These are 83 foot-pounds because we were doing rear suspension last time. What do we say, 58? Whoa. So it'll be backwards, but 58. It's way more than 58. Okay. Just seems like a lot. Wow. It is a lot. But you don't want these to come apart. That's the other part of the reason. Is it's turning the steering. Wow. Last one. There we go. 58. Woo! Okay. New ball joints. Happy. We'll double check those after the alignment once we get some miles on the car. If you guys notice something fun about this car, check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we only have 4 studs on here. These are Lexus rotors drilled for 4-bolt application. I did not do that. That's how they came. I don't know if I would ever do that. So bring this down. Put the wheels back on. And it'll be ready for the Arctic blast that's coming. We'll do this wheel first, since our gun's on this side. Remember, folks, please start lug nuts by hand. Please, please, please. Let's get this light out of here before I can't get it out of there. Like I said, I love these 949s. These were originally a bronze color. I had them powder coated black. Performance Powder Coating here in Columbus did a great job. They've done my powder coating for more than a decade. They've done all the stuff on the Viper, on the Viper trucks, sorry, on the Vipers and on the Viper truck. They did these lift arms. They did the floor plate. They've done stuff for the neon race car, for this race car. Really nice mom and pop shop. Jason and Gina. Sorry, Gina Licious is her name. We're done with that. We will leave this out so we can torque before we go for a drive. We're done. That's ball joints. Almost. Almost again. Getting closer. All right. Move the lift arms out of the way. What's nice about the MR2 and the Miata is you just push the lift arms out of the way. You don't really have to shuffle the car much. There we go. Turn this off. Set it to the side. There we go. Not bad, right? Take this bungee off. We are ready to go. We still have the bungee in here. Perfect. The one thing I wanted to do was weigh the car without the car cover in it. So I didn't get a chance to do that. But we'll do that. I'll get it all weighed up when we get back here. It'll have a full tank of gas in it. All the suspension stuff will be done. It'll run and drive great. Like if I look at it right now, I can check the steering wheel. Tell me how centered we are. All right, so there is a very straight wheel. We are towed out here, and we are heavily towed out here. In the rear, we have a little bit of tow out on each. Nope, this one is towed in. So, yeah, a little bit of a little bit of alignment adjustment, and we'll be in really good shape. So let me tilt this down for you guys. And this car will be ready for the next track day. It'll be really, really ready for the next track day. Be nice to have some paint and some other stuff. Oh, wait, let's see who else is in here. Let's see everyone else. Oh. Yeah, Peter, you're correct. Loctite, I don't know why it smells good. I really like the smell of it. And Cam 2, 110, 104, all the race fuels, they smell like sex, man. They smell so fucking good. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. They do, though. It's amazing. Yeah, and Peter, you're welcome to come up to the shop, man, anytime. It's pretty much every night here. If I'm not working on this, it's on the limo or doing someone else's car or, clutching the Viper or whatever. It's nonstop, either upgrades or regular maintenance, sometimes just doing an oil change on the Jeep. But it's constant, man. When you have 9 cars, it's a lot of maintenance that happens. And the cool part is I get to teach people, drop information, that sort of thing. Like the one I did on the axles for the MR6, I put that in one of the AW11 MR2 groups. And one of the super experts there said, oh, you just need to do this and get these axles and all that. And I was like, that's great. I'm just giving people another option. And he appreciated that. So it's nice when you can, kind of keep up with the big boys and offer advice and other options to people. That's always cool. So about what? About an hour to do that? When do we start? 9? And I had to find paper towels. I had no idea where they were in the house. So not too bad. Half an hour out, half an hour back in. And we know they're immaculate. They're loaded with grease. They're ready to go. Yeah, just got to go get the alignment done. And it's kind of weird with this week being, Christmas, New Year's. I'll see if I don't think anyone can fit us in this week, but I have a checkup with the oral surgeon on the 2nd, so I might do it after that. Or no, I might do it before that and just take this, depending on the weather, just take this to the oral surgeon. Because that'll be a nice highway drive too. I can figure out bumps and all of that stuff. Yeah, you're right, Peter. Fresh suspension makes all the difference in the world. And then you get it dialed in with a really nice alignment and setting the coils. That's what this tape has all the numbers on it. It's kind of hard to see. But there's numbers on there regarding the height from the hub center to the fender edge. And I use those as how to keep the car level and also front to back. So right now we're a little bit high in the front, but I want the alignment done before I drop the height. So we'll probably do it all at the same time. I want to get some miles and get this suspension settled so that the coilovers are at their correct height. And then I'll probably dial it down another. I'd really like another maybe 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch in the front. In the rear, depending on how stiff we make it, this might be the exact height in the rear. It might actually have to go up 1/4 inch. But I mean, it is really stiff back here. It is really, really stiff. So if I can keep this height in the rear, that would be great. Where are we at currently? 22,875 and 22.75. So we're 1/8 of an inch taller on the passenger side. And that's without weight in the car. That's the other thing I need to do. When we corner bounce this, I need someone in the car. Without people here, it's hard to do that. Yes, you can use dog food. Yes, you can do all this other stuff, but I really need the other person in the car. That's why I've left the scales out, is so that we can have another person with a full tank of gas or 3/4 of a tank of gas and get that dialed in. At Road Atlanta, in the pouring rain, this thing was an absolute blast. Once we got the tires figured out, we were in great shape. Now we have all new suspension, the coilovers, polyurethane bushings. We'll have a brand new alignment with TRD specs, which is awesome. And we'll have a car that's, I'm really actually kind of scary. 220, 240 horsepower, 2,400 pounds. It should handle really, really well now. I'm pretty excited about it. I've put a lot of time into this car, an incredible amount of effort. The list of people that have helped me work on this car is insane. I don't have a big enough whiteboard to write it down. 50 people, 70 maybe. The crew at Pit Race was absolutely incredible. The drivers at Pit Race were incredible. The crew at Road Atlanta was amazing. And the drivers at Road Atlanta were amazing. I mean, it was an awesome year for this car. A really, really awesome year. So we're going to keep improving it. Like I said, we'll try to get it all one color paint. It is a race car, so I'm not going to try to get, Kindig level paint on it. I just need all the whites to match. Because I swear there's 5 different whites on here. Got my buddy Mike Carlson helping me with the computer stuff and getting the cameras all working. We have some solutions that we're testing out that are working really, really well so far. So we'll be able to run all 3 cameras plus the dash on YouTube Live, which will be really nice for racing. You guys can watch literally the entire race. Everybody, getting in and out of the car, watching us fuel up, changing tires, all of that. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. You can go back and you can watch us, pass Corvettes and watch us get passed by Corvettes. So hopefully you enjoy that. We definitely like going back and looking at, where we could have been quicker, what we could have done better. There's a bunch of highlights from Road Atlanta that we really liked, and we'll try and put those together. We'll try and do all the race highlights, something like that. Brian's spin outs, plural. Let's see, did Ted spin out? Yeah, I think Ted did. We all had some hairy, just car hanging out there in the wet. It just, everyone was all over the place. So yeah, we'll keep going with this stuff. We'll keep making this car better. Right now, it's pretty amazing. And after 4 years, we've dialed in a really, really kick-ass MR2. We've got a lot of cosmetic stuff coming up. That's really it. All the drivetrain is solid. Suspension's now solid. Steering's great. All the electronics are in really great shape. So we'll do the cosmetic stuff and get it in awesome shape. Make it look really nice, and hopefully you guys will come along for the ride. Like I said, Peter, come on up, man. You can help me. I don't know. We'll do the windows. We'll rivet the windows in the back, or I don't know. Help me find a body shop, someone that will actually take this on. Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape. We're going to start doing our 2024 race and show schedule. So we'll have that up on the whiteboard. I'll try and do a video showing you guys what our schedule is coming up for not only this car, also for the limo, for the Neon, for what I'm doing with the Viper guys, and autocrosses and instructing, and also the drag race stuff that I'm going to be doing coming up at the top of the year in Florida and other places. So we'll try and get a schedule. You guys want to come hang out? I would absolutely love it. Happy to talk to folks, happy to help people out. It's what we're here to do, right? So thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this was enjoyable. You know, there's people who just sit around and talk, and then there's people who actually do it. And I like being one of the guys who does it. So it makes me feel good. There's a major sense of accomplishment, and it's very gratifying, very gratifying. So hopefully you guys will join me on the next one. We'll probably, I have the rivets showed up. Excuse me. I'm waiting for the drill bits. I bought a very expensive, very nice set of drill bits for drilling Lexan and plexiglass and polycarbonate. So those should be here. They were supposed to be here today. They should be here tomorrow. So the next one we'll probably do top of the, that's the 28th. We might do it before the new year. We might do it on the 30th. I've got a hockey game tomorrow night, and then yeah, we might do it this weekend before the new year. We might rivet in those windows. Got to get them cleaned up and get the stuff painted inside. But that's the plan. So we'll try and do that. I'll try and get it set up for this weekend sometime. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the forehead. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really, 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 really important. Okay? Thanks, everyone. I will see you on the next YouTube Live. Cool. Have a great night.